gentlemen. I know it's been crazy with the pandemic and all, but it is your boy Robert right here, and we are back at the movies. Yes, that's another Robo Rider review. And our first review back post pandemic craziness is Spiral from the Book of Saw. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Saw series. I mean, I like the movies. They got a little wonky toward the end. The first one, the original one, is the best one. We all know that. And then they get kind of crazy. The sequels are okay, and then you get like 4, 5, 6, 7, and it just gets insane. And it starts to get convoluted and it gets crazy. But I did have a chance over the last couple of days to go see Spiral, which is kind of it's an add-on. It's not like a direct sequel to the rest of them. It's like a new story, which is kind of cool if they're going to have some type of anthology series with this, where they can have a different movie that relates back to the Saw mythos in some way every so often. I'll be down with that. Like, we don't need any more Saws, or bring in that John Kramer and all of that, even though they have some callbacks to him, and I'll get to that in the review. But I did see Spiral, and I'm going to give you guys my thumbs up and my thumbs down as far as the movie goes, my grade, and we will get into spoilers later on when I get into my thumbs down stuff, the things I didn't particularly care for in the movie. But as far as the pros go, first and foremost, the first pro had to be Chris Rock. I mean, he was funny. Although you can, if you want to be honest, some of the jokes were hit or miss. Some of them were hysterical, and everybody in the theater where I was laughed. Some of them where I laughed and nobody else laughed. That's kind of weird. And then some of them where like none of us laughed, and it's like, all right, I get the joke they're trying to make here, but it's just not something that's going to make you laugh out loud. But there was some comical moments. He did add a different flavor to these movies, which you don't get often, which is kind of some comedic aspect to it, where, all right, let's lighten up the mood. You've seen all these grisly murders, but you got this guy who is also cracking jokes while we go along on this mystery. So I thought Chris Rock was a really good aspect of it. One of the big thumbs up. My next thumbs up is Samuel L. Jackson. He rarely gives a bad performance. He may be in bad movies, but he rarely gives a bad performance. He was good. He played Marcus Banks, which was Zeke Banks, Chris Rock's dad in the movie, former chief of police in this fictional town or whatever. And he has kind of like a falling out with the Chris Rock character, and even though he's like his landlord and they live on top of each other, they're not really talking to each other like that. But these murders start up, and then they have to. He wants to help Zeke, Chris Rock, fix or solve these crimes. But, there's also some issues with that. Also, another one of my thumbs up is the kills. I thought the kills were pretty elaborate. There were really some gruesome kills, some things that were interesting, some things that were kind of exciting to see. And I always judge my kills on whether or not you got something that's going to make me kind of, and I know it's a violation. Don't kill me. Don't kill me out there, YouTube. I know it's a violation that you kind of, I probably should look at that. You kind of wince away and whatnot. But they had something like that, but you kind of slide your way through it and see it through, because it is pretty good. The makeup effects and how things were. They were the first one is a guy who had his tongue stuck in like a vice grip, and the only way to escape this grip, he's on a train track, and the only way to escape this grip before the train comes and smashes him to bit is to kick the ladder out from underneath him and use his body weight to rip his tongue out, and then he'll be free. Of course, he doesn't, and this becomes a theme in the movie for some reason, that he doesn't get away in time. He goes to do it, like he chooses, live or die, as, John Kramer would say. He does choose to try to make himself live, but essentially he's too late. Also, but it is really gruesome once you see him get splattered by the train, and then when you see his remnants, what's left of him, it is pretty cool. So the kills are another one of my big pros. I love the Easter eggs too. That was one of the things I liked. I love being able to watch a movie and catch something that other people might not have caught. and then you watch reviews and see who saw what. But I loved a lot of the Easter eggs. You had callbacks to Chris Rock's career. He made a mention in New Jack City when he was pretending to be a drug addict, so he can get some evidence that would lead him to solve the jigsaw-like murders. So that was cool. He said, look at this place. It's like New Jack City, in reference to the way they were doing their drug thing was kind of like, how they did it in the Carter in the movie New Jack City. Also, one thing I saw that a lot of people might have missed is that there's a scene later on in the movie, and we'll get into that as far as like the plot goes and some of the contrivances and stuff that don't make no damn sense. But there's a scene that takes place in the cold case room in the bottom of the police precinct, and that cold case room has a safe on it, almost like a keypad combination safe, door lock. And the door and the lock, it said, is made by Vincent and Jules. And if anybody knows their movies, Vincent and Jules are the two hitmen from Pulp Fiction, Jules of which was played by Samuel L. Jackson. So I thought that was pretty clever. I actually liked that. I thought that was clever. I like little things like that, little Easter eggs, little things that, can get you into thinking about other movies, thinking about how much time, like the director or the writers took, or even just the set production and stuff like that. Just that, like, hey, we can throw this little thing in there. So I thought that was clean. So like I said, my big thumbs up are Chris Rock. I thought he was funny. He kind of held the movie together. He kept it so you weren't like bored. There wasn't a point where like I got tired or wanted to fall asleep or anything like that. So kudos to Chris Rock for that. Samuel Jackson kills and like everything he does, the smart ass remarks, and he threw an MFer in there, as he's known to do. And the kills, I like the kills a lot. They were very gruesome. Like I said, I like the first one with the tongue thing. They had another one with a guy whose fingers were attached to like these pulley things, and this whole thing was he was in a tub of water with copper wire hanging down, and if he a live copper wire, and if he didn't use the machine to rip his fingers off, then the water would rise, and then he would get electrocuted. And that was a good one. That was gruesome to see his fingers rip off. That was kind of cool. Also, that scene in the damn cold case room with the captain of the police getting poured down on with the wax. That was kind of cool. Like, that was kind of gruesome. Like, and then the fact that nobody really got away. Like, it's a downer, but it is a part of these Saw movies that, like, a lot of times there's these traps that just are inescapable, and they're made that way. Or the fact that even though these people did choose to try to save their lives, they were just, damn, that slow. So I did like those things. Those are my thumbs up. But there are some thumbs down. Like the pacing in the movie, sometimes it did get slow, and you did have Chris Rock there to kind of liven it up with a joke here and there, or some type of comic relief, or some type of, his charisma, and bringing a line where you're like, all right, I'm back into it. And then after that, then you can probably get another kill, and then the movie would keep going, and you're like, all right, I'm back interested. But the pacing, like, it was a movie that wasn't that long, but it seemed like it was longer because you did have spots where you had to fill it with Chris Rock trying to make jokes and be funny and kind of keep the movie going. So it made a movie that was maybe like an hour 35, hour 40 minutes seem like it was like 2 hours or so. So it seemed like you were there a minute. So my second thumbs down was the formulaic plot. Like, if you watch enough of these Saw movies, you kind of saw what was happening. And this one I'll get into spoilers. So, spoiler alert. You get your red herrings like almost immediately as it concerns who the killer is. You get them immediately. You get Samuel Jackson immediately. Oh, he's got a riff with Chris Rock. Oh, he was the captain before, and there was a lot of corruption. What's going on with that? Oh, he just went missing in the movie, and nobody can find out where he is, so we haven't seen him. Like, you get all of that. Then you also immediately, with these tropes in these movies, Chris Rock's character, Zeke, he gets a new partner named Will, and immediately red flags go up. Will comes out of nowhere. He's kind of being kind of shaky. He's doing shaky stuff. He's taking Zeke's phone and walking off with it and things like that. So you immediately suspect him. And then when they try to throw you off the trail of some of these red herrings, especially Will, they don't do a really good job of it. Like, they try to throw you off Will's case by having him supposedly get killed and be another victim of Jigsaw, although there's no actual, as what they've shown you before in the movie, which is like flashbacks of how the kill went down, because the cops are just finding the bodies, and then they show a flashback of what the game was and how they got killed. They didn't show you any real flashback of Will being put in a game or anything like that. All they show you is a hand scraping a body, and then there you go. And skinning the body, then they find a body that's skinned alive, and they just assume that it's Detective Shrink. So there's that. And then at the end, when, lo and behold, it pops up. And again, spoiler alert, it is Detective Shrink who's the killer. And then when you put all the pieces together from the backstory, the fact that this whole thing started in the police department with the dirty cops, because Zeke, Chris Rock's character, he was when he was a younger cop, he witnessed a cop kill somebody. He told on that cop, ratted, so to speak, and that cop got put in jail. But lo and behold, that victim's son was there present when this all happened, and from that moment on, apparently, he swore this vendetta. Although they say, like, he has a line in the movie where he's like, I've been waiting for this moment to work alongside you and be alongside you since I was 12 years old. Although the kid they show in the flashback looks well younger than 12 years old. That's neither here nor there. But then you start to put all the pieces together and you realize what is going on, and what happened, and the whole story and all of that. A lot of the stuff with, again, the red herrings, not only did they not do a good job of, like, kind of putting them to the least side to where you got it out your mind who could have been what, they also gave a lot away in the trailer, to me, because you saw in the trailer, if you saw the right trailer, you saw Samuel Jackson hanging up like this. So there's no way, no matter how crazy this would have turned out or flipped, or how whatever twist they would have had, where he would have been the killer. So you knew immediately, even though they're trying to push you that way, that that's not the case, because you seen in the trailer him being in a trap. Like you see that. So there's no way to think that's the case. At least they intimate that. I'm not sure if they show him in the trap he's in, but I know there's a trailer where he's hanging up, or it could be that it's the very last kill before Samuel Jackson and the finale and all that. There's the guy that Chris Rock put away. They killed the guy's dad. He's hanging up with the bag over his head. But if you don't know any better and you're watching the trailer, you may assume that that's Samuel Jackson. Even then, if you're assuming that, then you're going into it thinking, all right, Samuel Jackson couldn't possibly be the killer or whatever. So I thought that was kind of poorly done. You don't really get a full mystery. You have your guys going into it, you think it might be, and then lo and behold, it is one of those guys. So there wasn't really much to that. And then there were certain parts of the plot that weren't necessarily necessary. Look at that. That whole line wasn't necessary. But there were parts of the plot that weren't necessary. Like, there were flashbacks that kind of interspliced the movie, and where the editing looked really bad, because now you're editing the flashbacks, number one, that our main character, Zeke, could not have been a part of, because they show you him leaving the room. So there's no way he would know what happened after he left the room. And then also, some of them had pretty much nothing to do with what was going on, or any semblance of making the story any better. So it was like, why are we getting these flashbacks? Why do they keep cutting in and out of this? Why are they doing these cuts like this? Like, it really wasn't helping the movie. So that being told, you have my thumbs up about the movie. You got my things I gave a thumbs down to. My overall grade of Spiral from the Book of Saw is a C plus. It's not quite a B minus, not quite a B type movie. It's a high C movie where it's entertaining. You'll enjoy it if you're into the Saw thing and you're into the Saw franchise. You'll enjoy it. If you like Chris Rock, you'll enjoy it. But if you're looking for an actual like complete film that's like this enthralling thriller and murder mystery, that's not what it's going to be. It's pretty poor in that area, but it is a good sit down, get your popcorn. You want to be entertained by something, and you're not going to want to fall asleep, and you want to see some crazy, gruesome kills and that shit type of thing. Then you are going to like it. I mean, it's simple as that. It feeds those needs. So, again, my grade for Spiral is a C plus. I've been your boy, Robert the Writer. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what movies you want to do. I'll also be doing classic movies on this show. Some of our favorite movies, I'll do those as well as whatever new movies I happen to see. I'm going to do a lot of the movies that are direct streaming, but I'll also be going back to the movies that haven't. Since this movie was the first movie I've been back in the theater for since this whole pandemic thing started. So, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, comment down below in the comment section any movie you like me to look at, review, what I give thumbs up to, what I give thumbs down to, and my grade. And remember, I will see you in the theater.